Welcome to Invest. We'll talk about investing, finance, or professional development. As the record time of 3:31 p.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum contract $2,574, up about 0.24% so far. Respect over crypto markets, see clearly we are still kind of a mixed bag, levitating, approximating from the resistance level that I've identified so far, right? And for Ethereum specifically, that's the level of 2625 that we've been kind of hovering for the last 36 hours so far. And with respect to the immediate front, before I dive into technicals, it seems like collectively we are still, kind of contemplating on two factors. One is with respect to Ukraine-Russian war. It seems like on an optical front, based on some of the recent developments, it has not really progressed so far. It seems like it's still kind of driving volatility across the, investor sentiment and across the spectrum. In addition to that, with respect to the oil price, seems like has edged lower during this weekend after hitting the record high last week. So that allow for some normalization across the market spectrum. So beside that, we're, with respect to the foreshadow catalyst that's coming on the 15th and 16th, that's something we know. Is the FOMC meeting, right? So it technically begins on Tuesday, but the main events that's going to be, more of a market driver will be on the 16th, on the day 2 of the FOMC meeting. So we'll see how that goes as Monday opens up on, basically what I believe, based on the investment sentiment so far, especially on Friday, we saw a relatively sizable sell-off. Despite being driven by the Ukraine-Russian war, I would say the market has been trying to adjust or kind of bake in the price adjustments that we are expecting, the FOMC meeting, which is the interest hikes, right? So I believe that on Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of like a rebound, ahead of the meeting and that's subsequent kind of sell off from there. Or the other way around. Ultimately, that's just more of a hypothetical scenario. We do not know how that's going to play out, but something that we have known so far is that the market has been trying to price in the interest hikes before the interest hikes get actually initialized by the Feds, right? So something to think about. So let's just dive into the technical analysis to see what are the next foreshadow momentum levels that we'll go into. And respect to the market sentiment at the moment, we're still flat on this Sunday afternoon, approximating from the 2625 level, basically about like $50 below it right now. So with respect to near term, knowing the fact that with the MACD we are still below on the signal line, so that means if we have a positive catalyst, we will potentially have a propensity to form a golden cross again and allow us to pump up back up to the 2853 level, which is very logical. And knowing the fact that the war has been during for the last 23 days so far, and this week will, basically reach that mark of 23 days. And based on historical average, that's like the time when the market should technically kick in and start reversing from, right? So I do believe, this week might be the last type of week of panic and fear mongering, knowing the fact that we've been enduring that for the last 4 or 5 weeks so far. So if we're gonna see more, selling pressure, I think 2362 would be ideal, knowing the fact that we're relatively depleted at the 44 out of 70 right now. So I think those are the marks that I will be looking out for, and I think those will be the marching orders that will be going out for. I don't suggest selling at the moment. I would suggest that holding long term, because by selling is before it happens, kind of like timing the market, and no one can ever time the market. So to do that when the current setup right now is already relatively depleted, despite the lingering negative affectation in a foreshadow perspective, we should still believe in the fundamentals and allow for it to kick in from there without making any emotional decisions, right? Because if we sell now or sell before, that's timing the market, and secondly, that's an emotional play because you are fear. Your fear is what's the motive of driving your execution, right? So that's something to think about. Respect to Bitcoin, about 0.42%, same comparable affectation. I think the bottom technically based on I've added the Bollinger Bands here, you could see that, right? The next level when you get down to would be 37,500. If we go down, the next level when you go back up to would be the 40,000, right? And the worst, based on the Bollinger Bands, then these are levels that we typically do not bounce from, would be somewhere around like the 35,500 or 34,500 to be exact, right? So those are frames that I will be looking out for. And ultimately, we know our frames of reference, we know our marching order to risk manage. So no need to make any irrational decisions at the moment, right? Dogecoin down about 0.5%. I like anywhere from basically, yeah, current level all the way to 1066. You could see that 1066 was a flash crash that completely broke the Bollinger Band. At the same time, the 35 out of 70. So this is not a terrible level to incur risk yet. And I would say, yeah, again, anywhere from current level to 1066 from here. Cardano's up about 2.3%. I like anywhere from basically 80 to 75 from here with the 39 out of 70. Respect to Solana is at 80 right now. Seems like it's really far away. Let me just like zoom back in a little bit. Right now at the 80.50 right now, we're basically at the flat number, the 39 out of 70. So I like anywhere from current level to all the way to 75 from here. XRP down about 0.21%. You could see that clearly we're forming the wedge, and as the wedge was hit into an apex, you subsequently surge up from there, and you could see that as we hit the Bollinger Band on the top of 81, we got canceled out, and the reason for that is because 78 cents is not it's the next level, right? But after 78, you have to get up to 88 to sustain the bullish momentum, which you couldn't because you got to 85, which is a flat number. You got canceled out and subsequently come back down. So I would not touch this until we hit 65 again, but for me, anywhere from 62 to 57 from here. Polkadot's down about 2.55%, 50 right now. I like anywhere from basically, again, right, like 16 all the way to $14 from here. Algorand is still selling off. If you believe in this long term, I think right now it's not a terrible level to incur. 70 cents all the way to 69 from here. Shiba Inu low 2000s, right? So anywhere from 2100 begins all the way to 1400 to 900 from here. And then MACTAG is down 0.3%. I like anywhere from current level all the way to 120 from here based on the current setup right now. Do we see 120? I think 130 makes more sense based on the Bollinger Bands right now. With respect to AVAX, down about 1% so far. Anywhere from basically, let me just double check. Yeah, anywhere from 59 to 50 from here would be more logical at the 41 out of 70. At the same time, you could see that clearly we have a head, shoulder, so that means a sell-off is coming to 59 to 50 from here. And then with respect to Luna, lastly, you could see that we are relatively dragged in terms of the Bollinger Bands. We do not foresee us to be cracking above further. I think the max you could get up to if you pump again will be 110 based on the Bollinger Bands. The worst would be somewhere around like 33. So again, remember the frames that we talked about, 62, 52, 45 from here. At the moment right now, we're about to form a def cross. You can see that clearly this is a cross section that's merging really closely at the 57 out of 70. So that means if some affectation pops the balloon, we're heading to 62, 52 to 45 from here. So those are the marching orders for the next week coming. These are the frames that you want to watch out for. And I would advise, taking notes, on to identify the levels that we just went through together. But, if you want to be more concise and easily for you to follow, just follow my Patreon. I have all the levels broken down for you. So, if it's relatively simple to follow. And it gives you that, execution order that you need to make the right risk adjustments. So, appreciate you. Have a good Sunday and take care.